What's up, guys? HTG Brian back live with another game break. This is for February 2025, and welcome to our new Floating Hearts background. Maybe a little bit busy, maybe a little bit crazy, but I thought it was a nice change and upgrade from last couple of years, as I reused those quite a bit. It is the end of the month, which means it's time to game break. As per usual, I'm going to skip over the hellos in the chat. We've already kind of done that for the people who have been early. And I'm going to sort of just skip and stick to the agenda, as that's what is preferred by a lot of you, especially the ones who can't watch live. So it's not as fun when you don't watch it live. I get that. You don't want to sit here and listen to me talk to other people when you know you could have been here, even though work or play or other things may have gotten in the way. But anyways, we got a lot of things past, present, and future to talk about. You might notice a couple of things, like, for one, my room is also lit up pink. I'm trying to keep that theme or vibe of Valentine's Day alive. Got to keep the love and spread it, guys. There's too much discomfort, displeasure, disrespect, and everything going on, so we're trying to share that love a little bit. We're going to talk about things YouTube related. We're going to talk about things not YouTube related, personal and whatnot. We're going to see some videos. I actually have a little disclaimer right now too. I want to just put this out there. I will try to do my best to remember this moving forward, but I have a couple of photos. I'm going to share them with you. They might not be for everybody. Now, it's not a not safe for work type of situation. They're not gross in the sense of, like, you know, sexual or anything like that. But I do have a couple of photos of Drex's surgery, including an X-ray photo. I know some people are a little sensitive. I know this because I am one of them. So I'm going to put that out there now. When I get to the Drex section, I will do my best to sort of preemptively tell you when the gross photos are coming, because there is some stuff. It's sort of a progress and an experience, because it's been a wild deal for us, and we'll get to more details on that, but I just wanted to put that out there. I also want to show off a shirt real quick. This is a shirt that I've had for a while. It is a shirt that I found online a while back when I first got my GTI. I now still own the GTI, but it will become Reese's soon. And I just wanted to share this with you because I thought it was really cool. I've enjoyed this. I wear it to, like, Volkswagen meets and things like that, but it literally is the front end of my car. More on that later. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into things. We got a welcome back, and check this out, y'all. I even updated the welcome back button. I've been saying I was going to do that for like 4 years. I finally did it. Finally did it. Let's take a quick peek at the old YouTube stats. As you can see here, this is actually last month's stats. We flipped 213,000. We had about 805,000 views, which was up from the previous month. And our watch time was also up to 42,000. Fast forwarding to this month, what a wonderful month we had. We actually jumped up in subs. As you can see, we only had 1,000 new subs last month. We had over 1,200 this month. Now, subs is kind of a wonky stat. A lot of people think that, you know, because I have 1 million or 250,000 almost subs, that life is great and that everybody watches everything and that, you know, it's a success. There is some truth to that. However, there's also, as you guys know that watch the streams daily, there is some picking and choosing of the content that I put out there. Now, I have over 4,000 videos online. I think it's like 4,150 or getting close to 4,200 videos now. And that's just on HTG alone. That doesn't even include HTG TV. That being said, I get it. Not everybody wants to watch the Funko. Not everybody wants to watch whatever, game breaks, right? Not everybody even knows what a game break is. I get people constantly, and people who watch the streams daily know this too. I get people that show up that have been like, I've been subscribed for 5 years. It's so nice to put a face to the name or to the voice. And it's like, man, I've got a lot of content, including game breaks that go all the way back to the very beginning of our channel. So there's been lots of opportunity, but people pick and choose the content, and that's totally okay. I'm okay with that, but it's always nice to see the stats at their highest. Now, this month, as you can see, we dropped off a little bit as we actually hit higher sub count, but we also had lower views and lower watch time. But still, bragging worthy. I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support me. Whether you're picking and choosing one video a week or only the games that you need guides for, or you're here every day watching every single stream, I love you more than you know, and I appreciate you for helping me keep my dream alive of working from home, being able to play games with friends, family, and more, getting a chance to meet and talk to people. I have major anxiety. You guys know I do not do well in large crowds and big environments. Something I've not always had. It's something that sort of developed as I got older. And, you know, I used to not care about anything. I would go anywhere. I did not care. I DGAF. That was my motto for a long time. And that's not me anymore. I don't know if it's just like composition or whatever has changed in me, but ultimately it's probably the wife. Calmed down quite a bit, but also I just don't like, so being able to stream and interact with y'all gives me an opportunity to still have like a social life, even though I'm not always out doing things. So again, thank you so much. I see we got a couple people showing up. Echo, what up, dude? Michael's out there too. What up, man? Pinky and the Brain. All right. All right. So yeah, let's see. I have a 1700 still on the ground. Yeah, no, hey, that's a worthy number too, Echo. Don't sell yourself short. All of that being said, it was a successful month yet again. I had a little bit of a panic attack when things started dropping. It's weird, you know, a lot of people ask, and I'm not going to go into great details, but a lot of people do wonder about the finances. I get asked all the time, well, how much money do you make? Or how many views does it take to make this much? And every answer is a little different because there's no exact science or formula with the CPMs constantly changing, ad protocols needing to be met, which means like if an ad is skipped, it doesn't count as a full ad, and they have to accumulate so many skips before it becomes a full, and when then a full has to meet 1,000. There's so much stuff, right? So it's always different. But there are months where I will crush it, or you guys will be crushing it, watching videos, and watch time will be through the roof, great stream numbers, and the money will plummet like hundreds of dollars. And then I'll like back off and I'll have like a panic attack and think that like I'm going to have to go get a job somewhere else or something, or supplement some income, go back to web designing, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden numbers will drop. We'll see a decrease in views like this month. But the money comes back up. I really have no explanation. Sometimes it seems like the harder I try as a creator, the less I'm rewarded. And sometimes it feels like the less I do or the less I care, the more I'm rewarded. So, you know, I just had a friend post something a minute ago, and I wish, here, I might actually even be able to pull it up. It was actually a statement. It just went away because it refreshed. It was something that, you know, it was just kind of let's see if I can find it. Yep, there he is. Hold on, let me see. It was just like a weird statement, but it actually made a lot of sense, and it kind of made me feel like this situation, right? But different. This is more of like a workplace, but it says like when there are no consequences for poor work ethic and no reward for good work ethic, there is no motivation. So, you know, again, not directly applying, but like the whole thought of like, the more I worry, the less it seems to provide for me. And the less I worry, the more. So like, you know, there's got to be something to chase. And for me, I guess it's laziness. No, I don't know. Just kidding. All right. But great month, guys. I really appreciate you. Like I said, you know, 776,000 views is kind of small in the YouTube space. I mean, there's shorts that get millions of views. There are streams that get hundreds of thousands, if not millions. There are Mr. Beast videos that get billions. I don't know. But so in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot. But to me, if you were to take, you know, one person for every view, I mean, that's 776 people. It doesn't work that way, but you think about that number, 776,000. That's a lot of whatever. Like 750,000 is pretty worthy. So thank you so much, guys. I see Gerg sending me messages trying to get his Ninja Smoke on. He can't interact with the stream because I'm not on PlayStation Network. Wop, wop, wop. What up, though, Gerg? All right, moving right along. I want to talk about Drex, so get ready. We're going to have some queasy photos, perhaps. Maybe you're fine. Maybe you enjoy blood and bruising and stitches. My Stream Deck just completely like acted like it got shocked or something. Anyways, whoops, let's get that off. Hey. Okay. It's doing it again. It keeps turning on and off every time I touch it. There we go. I finally got something to work. All right, so Drexler. Some of you guys know we've had a dog for about 6 years now, and he's been a wonderful addition to our family. I was always like anti getting a dog because I was going to have to be the one taking care of it while Reese was at school and wife was at work, you know, and I just wasn't sure how it was all going to work out. One of the best decisions I've ever made to push for getting this dog. Now, this is a short little video. I'll run it a couple times because it's really short, but you might notice his back right leg is being withheld from the walk. He's sort of tripoding it up with 3 legs. Reason for it is he blew out a ligament in his knee. Basically, the 2 bones. I know I've explained this to some of you a lot, but just for the sake of today's game break, you know, you got the femur, I believe, and the tibia, the 2 bones for the thigh and the below the knee, and then you got the knee that meets up right here. Well, the way that Drex's genetics are, his bone sort of like sits on top of it. And there's like a tendon that comes out from the top and sort of loops down. And it's just like any kind of fastener or zip tie or anything like that, right? Like it just kind of comes down and secures that. And so if it wasn't there, the knee could kind of move around freely, right? Because there was nothing to attach it. There's no bone, like the bone, it kind of sits, the socket just kind of sits there. So when he blew that ligament out, there was no way to like replace it. Like a lot of times humans can have, you know, stuff taken from other areas and grafted and things like that. There is not a procedure that is commonly done anyways that is that is beneficial to a dog in that situation. So we had 2 choices. First choice was a very simple procedure that our local doctor or vet could have done, and that is basically drill a hole in the front of this and drill a hole through this. And then his explanation was, we run basically fishing line through it a couple of times. We do 2 or 3 loops, and then we tie it off, and then we put them back together. We're like, oh, okay. And then he goes, if you guys had insurance, then I would recommend the TPLO surgery. And we go, well, we do have insurance. And he goes, oh, you do? Well, you guys should go to the TPLO surgery then. We're like, we don't know what that is. So basically a TPLO, instead of drilling 2 holes to run fishing line through, they don't do that. They instead make an incision on the side to get in. They peel back the top bone, right? So they separate them, and they use a special saw to grind and reshape the tibia bone so that the fibia sits on top. I'm probably saying the wrong, so if I'm driving you crazy because I got the wrong anatomical terms, I'm sorry. Welcome to Brianisms. But essentially, the top to the bottom, right? So they grind down the bottom so that the top sits in there differently. And then what they do is they actually put like a hinge, like a plate on it. So the hinge has a couple of screws that go into his lower portion and a couple of screws that go into the top. And so it's off to the side and it sits there. So one last time, tripod action. Here you go. Okay. One last photo before it gets greasy. It's a little blurry. There was some movement happening. This was on our way. If you guys remember, we had a 1-hour drive from our house to the place of surgery. And so you could tell he was a little shook. He didn't know what was going on. It's not often mom and dad hop in the car early morning and take him somewhere. So he knew something was up. He probably started noticing some landmarks on the way because we had just gone for a consult the week or 2 before. And so he was a little bit shook. This was a Tuesday morning, would have been 3 weeks ago this last Tuesday. Okay, upcoming x-ray. If you don't do well with x-ray photos, now's the time to look away, put the phone down, whatever. I won't keep it up for super long, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit more in detail what I'm talking about. So here's the x-ray. You can see on the left-hand side, there is what looks almost like a dental floss pick thing. It's actually a metal plate. And you can see it a little bit differently on the other side, on the right side. There's actually screws. I don't have like a pointer to show you, but those lines that are coming off. So you got like the x-ray itself and the bone, And then you got some really bright light markings. They almost look like somebody drew like a non-straight line up and down, and then some hashtag marks off to the side, or hash marks off. Those are all screws into his bones. So yeah, there's 6 of them. 6 screws, 1 plate, and that is what's going to prevent his knee from popping out or doing anything. All right, so next up, I'm going to show you guys a picture of it's technically day 2, but day 1 of getting him back. Yeah, Bionic, the $1 million dog. This next one is day 1 of us receiving Drexler. So it was actually the second day. He had surgery on Tuesday. He stayed overnight to make sure everything was good and blah, blah, blah. And then Wednesday afternoonish, we picked him up. And again, if you're a little queasy, you don't like bruising or blood or stuff like that, this is the time to look away. I'm trying to be very mindful of this. Considerate, if you will. But here you go. So it looks funny, but that's actually, like, you can see the incision. You can see look at all that bruising. Now, that was, like I said, day 2. Definitely not wonderful. As time would go on, though, he actually proved to literally be a bionic dog because things fixed themselves really fast. Now, Schmohawk actually has been wearing a cone, and you can see the cone on him right there. Now, you might notice, too, the super sweet Crocs that I'm wearing. No. Just kidding. That's not the focal point. Focal point is, notice the leg. See how the leg is out further? You know, that's one thing that they really didn't talk to us about that I wish they would have. Now, they explained the process and the sawing of the bone to sort of reposition the top bone to the bottom bone, but it wasn't ever really discussed in the fact that his leg might not ever tuck in or be in a normal spot. Now, again, they explained that they were sawing the bone and had the different angle of but it was never said, like, okay, because of that angle, his leg is never going to sit right again. Now, we don't know if that's actually true or if this is just part of the healing process. As time has gone on, this was probably day 3, day 4, something like that. And since then, he's tucked it in way closer. So he's definitely not as much of like a wide angle stance, but definitely still sitting with it out a bit. But he did get his cone off on day like 9 or 10 and got to his stitches in the middle of the night. They are the water soluble, whatever, dissolvable stitches that are supposed to go away in 2 weeks. And on day like 9 or 10, he licked them all off. Now, unfortunately, that happened, but fortunately for him, it was healed up enough and he didn't get to it long enough that it didn't like cause things to be worse or become an infection or anything like that. So I see a couple people sliding in. What up, Gray? What up, Matt? Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Michael Hack's out there too. Good to see you too. But you know, kind of Longley looking at the TV, a little sad. So he figured out that if he licked enough right where the seam is, it would spin around all the time. We tried to put the seam on the back so he couldn't get to it, but he would lick the seam and it would get wet. And then whenever it got wet, it became a little bit less stiff. It became looser. And he could sort of lick and get the Velcro to undo when it became wet. So super smart dog. It really upsets me that he figured this out, though, because we weren't ready to have it off. But he did make it to the end of his cone days, and now he is cone free. This was some cone free time during his time. I took it off and laid down next to him, and he attacked me and went nuts. He was so happy to have that cone off. And, just because we've talked a lot about Drex, I didn't want to leave Cutie out. So I threw a picture of the old Cutie Pie in there, too. She spent a lot of time on laps or right next to us because we were in that front room, which is normally only consumed by Reese and his loud Call of Duty yells. But this actually happened to be very good for Cutie. And just overall good experience for all of us. I mean, it sucks for Drex and it sucks. There's a lot of, we're in week 3.5 right now since Drex's surgery. We still cannot let him go outside by himself. We have to take him out on a leash every single time. It's also winter, so it's constantly raining or snowing or icy out there, sub-freezing temperatures a lot of the time throughout this. So it's definitely been a challenge for us all, but, you know, it's all going very well. And when we did our last consult with the doctor, which was over Zoom, you know, we walked around behind Drex and showed her all the progress and told her all the things. She asked a bunch of questions. She wanted to see the incision, and she literally came back and said, "Oh my gosh, you guys are light years ahead of everyone else." And they were like, "We actually had a group of surgeries that happened the week before you guys. And Drex seemingly is doing better than those guys and healing faster than the guys that have had surgery a week prior to." So Drex is just crushing it. So super good boy. We love him a lot. This is the current status. This was taken probably 4 or 5 days ago, so it might look a little better. But, I mean, a lot of the hair has grown back. It's starting to cover up. But, I mean, I'm going to go back to the gross photo real quick again, okay? Here goes the bloody, bruised up. So this is where we were. Right? This is where we are now. Like, look at the difference. A different angle. Kind of hard to get the same angle with him, but ultimately, so proud of him. On another front, people probably know this, but maybe not. The surgery actually cost us $6,600. That actually was a lot more than we were expecting. In the end, we had insurance that covered roughly 80%. So we ended up getting it was like $4,986 or something like that. So we got basically $5,000 of the $6,000 back. So if we would have done the original surgery, it would have cost us like $1,200. So we basically got the same surgery, or got the better surgery for the same price as the cheap, not very good surgery. We would have also gotten most of that covered. It would only cost us a couple $100 to do that one, but we wanted to do the right thing. So definitely stoked. We do have some questions about our insurance because, first of all, they sort of screwed us. So let me go back. Pet insurance should be a thing. Now, if you got 7 animals, that's going to be pretty expensive because I don't think they have like group plans or anything like that. But if you have 1 or 2 animals and they're your babies, you love them, you want to keep them around, you want them to be happy, you want your pockets to be filled with joy and money, definitely consider it. We went through a company called Fetch. I don't know much about it. My wife did the research. She looked at like 20 different places. My mother has a dog roughly the same age as Drex. It's an Aussie Doodle, very active, bouncy, crazy dog. So they, because of their previous dog that they had a surgery like ours, cost them $6,000 or $7,000. They didn't have insurance. Now, they've got the money, so it's not a big deal. But she got insurance anyways, and my mom was like, "Hey, you guys should look into Fetch. That's who we're with," and blah, blah, blah. So Fetch was really good to us. The one thing that I'm questioning, though, is we kind of got boned on some of our submissions. So there was a $300 deductible, and we submitted the consult, the diagnosing when we went in and had x-rays and we saw our local vet. And we also had a pre-consult that was like, Drex was showing signs of like being hurt. But when we took him in, like there was no signs of any tears. He was walking. Whatever he had hurt, he had seemingly sort of gotten over it. And so the doc was like, "Here, just take some of these pills and check back in 2 weeks." Well, 3 days later, he blew it out. So we tried to submit those. And for some reason, they didn't allow us to claim those. So we were only able to claim the the consult pre to the surgery, which was like $110. So there was $190 of the deductible left that we should have had covered from the other 2 visits, but it didn't count. So that was kind of weird why they were like, "Nah, that one doesn't count, but this one does." And we're glad that the big one counted, right? My wife was pissed, and I was like, "Listen, it's $180. Do you really want to spend a bunch of time on the phone or sending emails or trying to track down all these records and prove all this stuff for $180? Like, we got 5,000 something back. Like, we're good, right? Like, we're good." And so she was like, "Yeah, I guess." She settled with that. So, the last thing that I would definitely check into with pet insurance is the overall coverage. Pre-existing injuries are not covered, but things that, like, we had a clean bill of health. So this was not a pre-existing injury for him. So that's why they covered it. But at the end, they said, you know, something like you've received, $5,000 worth of your $15,000. My wife was like, what? What? So, like, we're kind of trying to figure out, like, do we only have, like, 10,000 and some change left for period? Or is that like is that just like for this year? Is that like, so we're trying to figure that out because that's a big deal. Now, hopefully Drex won't need to go in for a big surgery or anything like this for forever, right? Hopefully it never happens again. But if he blows his other knee out, I mean, we still have enough to cover that. But if we're going to keep paying $55, $65 a month for the coverage and we're limited to how much money we can take on the end, we might look into a different place. Again, the clean bill of health wouldn't be a thing anymore because he's blown out his knee, right? So he has genetic possibilities of another knee blowing out, which might be considered pre-exist. So we don't know. We're kind of stuck right now. But definitely look into it if you have a pet, and definitely consider some of those details, because just getting it and paying it, not knowing, is kind of stupid. And that's exactly what we did. We had no idea what our coverage was. We had no idea what our deductible was until we found out he blew out his knee. And then we had to call and hook him up. So anyways, all right. So Drex is doing great. Like I said, we're in week 3.5. Tuesday will be 4 weeks since he actually saw the knife. Wednesday will be 4 weeks since we got him back. So moving right along, feeling good about it. The problem is that he has a 16-week recovery expectation. So it's going to be 16 weeks before he's back to normal, or 95%. Oh, snap, Superman Gamer with the $2 super chat. Have I ever done tractor tipping before? Yeah, and Cars, the game? Yes, definitely. As a kid, Reese played that exclusively. Did a lot of tractor tipping. Anyways, thank you for the super chat. Much love. Appreciate that. But, so next up, February was kind of a boring month outside of that because we were stuck at home. We didn't get out to adventure. We didn't go and have tacos and go to the brewery. We haven't done anything. We've been very limited in what we can do. We actually did go to my wife's favorite plant store up in Portland once, and we did catch some lunch at a place we haven't been to in a while. But it was like a mad dash up there, get stuff, and mad dash home. And that's where I acquired one of my rock chips. More on that later. But good news for you, we actually had some entertainment come to us. A lot of the country saw a very cold front move through at some point or another, and some places got pretty dusted with snow. We got a decent helping, and here is a quick look out the front door of our house. This was roughly right after Drex's surgery, and it was kind of torture for him because he loves the snow. I see King of Wolves showed up. What up, what up, what up? Appreciate you showing up. Glad we could help out with Lego Marvel. So that's out the front. You can see the Tesla. I want to show you guys something pretty cool. You can see the window on the top. There's like a couple inch gap between like the roof of the car where the snow is, and then on the side where the snow is. I've got a close up of it that I'll show you in a minute, but you can see, like, my car has like a ceramic coating on the hood, so the snow didn't really take very well to it, so it slid off pretty nicely, which was good until it got wet and then froze, and then the snow stuck to it. When it was just snow, we couldn't stay there, but when the ice came on, then it was able to. But it was actually, quite a bit of snow. Here's the GTI still hanging out in our driveway right next to the Prius, which hopefully our plates will get swapped, and I'll be able to start putting those plates, the Inadub plates, on my Golf R, and we'll be able to put the real plates, the other plates, back on the GTI so that Reese can then purchase it from me, register it, and then start driving it as his own. Basically, we didn't want him to buy the car and have it sit there and torture him. It's really not any different because it's still sitting there torturing him. He's still having to go out and start it every couple days to make sure that, the battery's good and the fluids are good and that there's no water in there and things like that. But so he's already getting a taste of like how it all works, but has not really been able to drive it much because we're sort of stuck in limbo right now. Like, the Golf R has a trip permit, which allows me to drive it, but the Inadub license plate is being switched from the GTI to the Golf R. It's in transition. So at some point, the DMV is going to register it as the Golf R, not the GTI, and then we don't have plates on the GTI yet. But they won't let us switch the GTI plates because this other one is currently in transition. It's kind of a wild mess, but hopefully the dealership will get that stuff done and we won't have to worry about it much longer. There you can see more, just a little bit of a close-up, how the snow just wasn't really sticking to my car. Beautiful car. More on that in a minute. But here you could see there is no snow or ice accumulating on the side windows. Now, that might seem like a crazy anomaly, but it's actually by design. So whoever the engineers are at Tesla, they have decided that the electronics are susceptible to potential damage or failure if temperatures get too low or too high. So in the summertime, when it's like 100 plus degrees outside, or at least 100 plus degrees in the cabin of the car recognizes that and actually turns on the system and gets it cool in there. Now, this is a great feature, especially like on cold mornings or hot summer days when you want to come out to the car that's been sitting in the cold or hot and you want to be comfortable. So you can literally set it and forget it. And once you get in the car, it's not cold. It's not freezing. It's not hot. It's perfect. And my wife loves it because in the morning, especially throughout the winter, she'll set it for like 72 degrees. She'll go out to the car. It's warm. She doesn't have to sit there and warm it up. She doesn't have to wait. She's not frozen waiting for the heated seats or anything. Like, it's all good to go. But when it's cold, like I mentioned, it has a fail safe. And it keeps the cabin temperature a certain, I think it's like 60 degrees. So that's just like a fail safe all the time. So the windows don't get as cold as they should or would if there wasn't a heat source inside. So kind of a cool feature. At first I was like, what the crap? And then the wife was like, you could hear the car like making these weird like electronic noises. And then you can hear the blower kick on and you're like, oh, well. That's actually blowing, and no one's even in it, but which is kind of cool, right? Like I figured that's a cool feature. Now I mentioned the ice. It did get cold, then it got warm, and then it got cold again. So some of the snow and ice started to melt, which resulted in some pretty cool photos. Maybe I'm a little biased because it's my new car, but like I said, I figured they were pretty cool. This is out the back, kind of dangerous. I'd be a little careful where you're walking there. But you can see we got a couple of inches, depending on where you look. You know, things accumulate a little bit better on like metal surfaces because they freeze, and then for whatever reason the precipitation builds up higher. So like on some of the wood decking and other places, it wasn't nearly as high. But I wanted to show that. I mean, we got about 4, maybe 5 inches in certain places, which was enough to keep us happy. But unfortunately, like I said, Drex, who loves the snow, was not able to get out in it much. But you can see some footprints out there. So he did get to get his posies wetsy. But yeah, so it was really nice. You know, I don't love the snow, but I don't hate the snow either. And I do love a good snow here and there. Like I feel like, I don't know, it sort of keeps that balance. And living in Oregon where weather is constantly getting different, and I mean, you get a little sample of everything. I mean, you get some really hot, humid days, you get some really hot, dry days, you get some really cold, frozen days, you get some really iced over torrential downpour days too. You know, we see it all here, which it's good and bad. You know, like part of me likes the sunny weather for the car aspect, right? Because I don't like washing the car. I don't like dirt. I don't like all that stuff. I like dry pavement to go fast. No screeching of the tires and stuff. But I also don't like being hot, especially later in life. I put on some extra pounds, I'm a little fatter than I used to be, and I'm comfortable with it. Like, and like when it gets hot out, I'm like, you know, like I'm one of those guys that always prefers to be cold over hot. So, you know, like I said, I like the snow kind of balancing out things and makes things good. Let's see here. All battery things are susceptible cold and hot too. Yeah, so all the electronics, the battery is included. Yes, that definitely is a thing, and it's a cool feature. I think it's pretty cool. Like I said, the wife absolutely loves it. Now, I don't want to get into details about it, but especially in Oregon, I can't speak for other places, but in Oregon, it went from being really cool to owning and driving a Tesla to being like the enemy. And again, I don't need chat to chime in or anything, but like our Tesla dealership this month alone had a car doused in gasoline and set on fire at the Tesla dealership. And 2.5 weeks later, somebody did a drive-by shooting and shot out every single window of the dealership, plugged the 6 dealership cars that were on the showroom floor full of bullets. And it's very apparent that there's some pretty heavy opinions out there. And then yesterday, across the street from the Tesla dealership, we have the Salem Airport, which is really small. It is basically a FedEx and UPS and USPS hub. Very, very minimal commercial airlines go out of there. We have like 1 or 2 flights to Vegas a week that just started. This is just new, like in the last year. And we have like, I think LA trips like once or twice a week too. Hardly any other flights come and go besides FedEx, UPS, USPS. It's really just like a hub for mail. Somebody was walking around yesterday suspiciously and apparently pulled a gun out and was shot by Oregon State Police. Again, not sure that they are related, but right there across the street from the Tesla dealership. So I actually drove. In fact, you guys won't be able to see it, I'm sure. But I actually drove by. I was on the phone with Reese. I had just left an appointment. And I was like, hey, can you hear the car? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, rap, 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 just giving it, right? Like making it sound cool. And then I go, oh my God, there's a cop. Oh my God, there's another cop. Oh my God, there's another cop. And I got to the next intersection, and those black trucks are federal vehicles. And you can't really see, but on the other side of this car right here too, there were 2 cop cars, the Interceptors, the Ford Interceptors or whatever, and they had all roads blocked off. I pulled up to the red light. No traffic was allowed to the right, no traffic was allowed straight, and no traffic was allowed coming from any other way to go either of those ways. I got to the light, and as soon as I sat there, I was like, oh my God, Reese, I don't think I'm going to be able to go anywhere. The path that I'm in is blocked. And right then, the cops got in their cars, and they all took off, and they went flying somewhere. And then later, I saw the report that a person was shot and killed right there at that location. So, kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Like I said, the pink, the love, spreading it. This is what I'm talking about. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening around the world. Uh-oh. I knew it. This morning, I was going to text my brother, who is kind of running the golf course that I work for, like do the marketing and web stuff for. And I knew it was time to change the rates for the golf course. And I knew it because I talked to my dad about it like a week ago when he came down. And Alex hasn't asked me to do it yet, but he just sent me a text. I was going to text him this morning and be like, don't you need to change the rates, bro? And he just sent me a text. Hey, can you change the rates, bro? So yeah, back to the Tesla talk. We are a little bit like Jillian is actually she was like, hey, if your car had the PPF on the hood, I would actually ask to drive it because I don't want to drive my car right now. Like, that's terrible to be scared to drive your, and she loves the car. Like, Reese got her a sticker that tries to remove her from any affiliation with anybody involved with making money at Tesla. But anyways, I've already said too much. It's a hot topic. We try not to talk about that. I value all opinions. I think that things are crazy right now. You guys may feel the same, may feel completely different. And all of those feelings are valid and acceptable. Doesn't mean we'll get along, but no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right. So next up, last month, I bought a new car. And when I did the game break, I actually had, for lack of a better explanation, I had a moment where during the game break, I got very overwhelmed. I mean, I don't feel like it was a panic attack or anything like that or anxiety induced. I feel like it was more a digestive thing. Like, my family historically has IBS and a whole bunch of digestive issues. You guys know I can't do pineapple or onions or, a lot of acidic based foods. Anyways, I hadn't really had anything that should have caused any disruption, but I got really, so like what happened was I was like, hey guys, I got a new car. And I hit the button like this, right? And the second I hit this button, the whole room started to spin. And I started feeling like I had like a belt being cinched tighter and tighter around my stomach, even though I had sweatpants with elastic band on. And I just got super hot. Like, and if you go back, I'm not suggesting you do. It's embarrassing for me. But if you were to go back and watch, when I get to the car, I'm like, so I got a new car this month. Like I literally just fire through it because I was trying to talk my way and distract my way out of the feeling I was having, which does happen sometimes, right? Like sometimes I get like a gas bubble or something of discomfort that offsets my whole body. And I usually can just like power through it, talk through it, look the other way, ignore it, right? So that's what I was trying to do. And eventually I got through the game break and I was okay. But for like that 90 seconds to 2 minutes, like I was in bad shape. And a couple of times those moments have happened where it almost seems like I might need medical attention. And every time that has happened and I've been worried or felt like I needed medical attention, it ends or subsides with an exit, whether it's a burp or a burp, like it ends with gas leaving the building. Gross, too much information, all that. But the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I really wanted to go back and just sort of show off the car a little bit. This is a 2024 Golf R. I picked it up. This is my dream car. If you guys have been watching the game breaks at all, for 2 years, I've been showing you this picture saying Golf R, Golf R, Golf R, Golf R, Golf R, right? And now I actually have one in my driveway, and it's just like still unreal to me. So you've seen the dealer pick when I picked it up. That was the day before. I actually bought it that day, but wasn't able to take it home till the next day. This was the first time I sat in the car. Like I was literally sitting in the Golf R for the very first time. Hadn't messed with anything. Jillian was messing around with the display and was trying to figure things out, getting her greasy fingerprints all over the touchscreen. And, but yeah, it's been an absolute delight. It's got the Club Sport spoiler, which I actually really like the way it looks, but I hate the way it functions. I don't like how it freely flows water and stuff right through that crack. It goes right down onto the windshield. And I'm like constantly using the rear wiper. There are some flaws. They're stupid and very overlooking worthy, but like there are some flaws. And that's one of them. I don't like how it just pours right down that little crack between the wing and the body of the car right down onto the window. You can see it there too, how there's just that space, that crack. There's my trip permit. I'm good till 4/19. So still got plenty of time before I can't drive it legally, assuming that they get those plates transferred. It won't come to that, but there's just kind of a back view there. Here's the wheels. I actually have a set of these, and I believe I have another photo in here of just the black gloss wheels. So they're the same exact shape and pattern. They weigh the same. They're the same size. Everything's the same, except for they are all gloss black instead of having the machine. I'm going to be putting those on in the next 2 to 3 weeks, whenever money will allow it, basically. And then I just actually uploaded this photo to my Instagram account this morning with a very cool MF Doom and Jay Dilla song called Lightworks. The name of the game is Lightworks. Anyways, don't follow me on Instagram. It's boring. But that being said, those are puddle lights down below. So that R actually is cast and shined down from my side view mirror. Now, both of the handles on, well, all the handles on both sides light up too, which is a new feature for me. They're very cool, very high-end, fancy, if you will. And super stoked. You know, a lot of these things are just very small features that I've always wanted in my older car, but just never had. Now, the first weekend I had it, I actually had great weather, and I talked old Nam into going for a cruise. We didn't really have a plan or a place to go to, and I concocted one at the last minute of what used to be a really cool drive, but had been obstructed with new buildings, homes, and speed bumps. So there's this road called Skyline in Portland, and actually is the top of the West Hills, and it overlooks the majority of like the valley of Beaverton and Portland, and it's beautiful. You can see the sky. I mean, we're up there. You can see how like vast the view is. But unfortunately, all of the trip between where you get on the road and where we got to this point, it was literally houses, speed bumps, people walking their dogs. Like it back in the day when I was young, my mom used to have a friend that lived up there, and we would go up there. And then when I first got my license, I used to take girls up there. It was a cool kind of lookout place, right? Don't tell the wife. Anyways, yeah, great time. However, it sucked because of the speed bumps, and we really couldn't go faster or play at all. But that's Nom's RS3, which is an amazing piece of machinery. The model right below the RS3 is called the S3. And the S3 is it's literally the same car as my Golf R. The motor's the same, the drivetrain's the same, the transmission's the same. The only difference is the actual body and then the interior, of course. But as far as horsepower and things go, the S3 and the Golf R are basically identical. A lot of the parts are interchangeable, shocks and things that you wouldn't even really think about. They're definitely interchangeable, which means Nom's car is one step above mine, and that's driving me nuts. So the car goes in for some modifications on March 13th, which won't catch me up to him, but will put me one step closer. But we had a couple of really cool photos that I took there. I thought this was a very aggressive look. And I love that Nom and I both have like a white and black car. I just really love the look of that. And you know, you probably noticed he has black wheels on his car. I will soon too. So kind of nice to have those matching. Here's a little side view with some scenery in the back. I give one of Nom's car too. And this next one's kind of tricky because I have to push two buttons at once because the next photo does expose Nom's license plate. And just to keep him safe, I decided to go ahead and place Gray's face over part of the license plate. So if you look really carefully, I sort of color matched it so it blends in, but there is Gray's face on the left side of the plate blocking part of that part number. And yes, Brian, that's funny you mentioned that, the Stormtrooper helmet. My old GTI, which you can actually see here, my old GTI had, same scheme, was all white with black, and sort of represented a Stormtrooper. Now, real quick, I just want to show you guys this shirt again, right? So I've had this since I've got my Mark 6 GTI. I've been trying to find Mark 8 Golf R shirts. There is nothing out there. So I took it upon myself to create something that would maybe make me happy and potentially others as well. This is a prototype and we'll be going on shirts soon. And I have a second drawing that I won't show you today, but that's almost complete. It's kind of a mess right now in my eyes, so I don't want to show you guys. But I have one more that's for my friend's red R32. I will be doing one for Nom's car as well. And then I also have a couple of other plans to do them too. But tell me what you think. Some of you guys have already seen this, but basically I tried to recreate the shirt that I'm wearing right now, but with my new car. And so then I kind of came up with this concept of golf art, because I'm a Golf R, right? Golf art, where, you know, the A and the T of art are sort of lowercase and the R is uppercase. Or in this case, I've actually used the R logo for my current generation. Now, the red one that I'm working on has a R logo, but it's different. His is the R32. And it sort of has like a couple of dots and a line to represent like a racing flag. And then Nom's is an RS3. So they all share the R, but they're all different. So I'm potentially going to be doing that. Now, the plan is to just have the car on the front and then Mark 8 Golf R either on the sleeve or on the back. And yeah, so I mean, that's something I've been working on. Hey, what up, Rob? Mr. Bros, you die. I see Bobby's out there too. What up, man? So that being said, that's my Golf R and Golf art, and I'm pretty proud of that drawing. Like you know, I've been illustrating and doing things for a long time. I'm usually too motivated to be done with the project that I don't spend the time and effort that it probably should get, and therefore I sort of half-arse it. Half-arse it? Anyways. But yeah, so that is the look at the Golf R and the new Golf Art, which I will hopefully be donning one of those shirts here pretty soon. All right, little shift of gears from personal stuff to project stuff. I listen, I have very little excuse for lack of progress for Lego Horizon. The story is done. I got the main story done, and I sort of ran into a hurdle where the guide that Dougie wrote is not fully completed. And we were supposed to have a meeting. It hasn't happened. Now, I want to be very clear. I love Dougie to death. He is like my brother from another mother. I am not upset or mad at him at all. But I've done a little homework, and I probably have the answers I need to move forward, and I still haven't done it. So again, I have very little excuse for that. I'm going to start working on that soon, hopefully this next week. I wish my Stream Deck would stop doing this. It like, if I put my finger on it, every third time it shuts off. Like, it's acting like it's getting a charge, but I'm sitting in a chair, not moving. Feet aren't dragging. I'm not building up any electricity. I haven't touched anything else. The only thing I could think of is that maybe my chair is touching the recliner, and somehow the recliner is sending a charge to my chair, and the chair is charging my tuchus, and my tuchus is charging my finger. I don't know, but it's driving me nuts. Can you guys hear the boop, 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 boop every time the computer turns on and off? I hope not, because that would be annoying. It's annoying me. But goal is to get going on Lego Horizons again. The catch is, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to the videos. That's like the only place I'm a perfectionist. As I just mentioned, I normally don't give my art enough time to come to full fruition, and so it's half-arsed. Anyways, I wanted to make sure that the path we took from here to 100% was as quick and efficient as possible. To do that, there are a couple of steps that overlap or maybe could be done separately. And I really just needed some guidance of somebody who had completed it to tell me these can be done at the same time, or they shouldn't be done at the same time, or there's a couple of things like that, right? So my videos could be made. I could make them, but I'm not necessarily going to have 100% confidence in the production and efficiency of them. So that's why I've been waiting. I've been hopeful that Doug and I would cross paths. I have not. I actually got to him and told him I had a couple of questions. I sent them to him on Discord. He promised like 3 different times he would get to them, and he just hasn't had the time to do it. Sounds kind of crazy because, you know, you could probably make 5 or 10 minutes to do stuff, but it hasn't happened. So again, I'm not mad at him. I respect real life first. That's always been our motto around here. And although sometimes it's hard to like move forward without, you know, but at the same time, I totally respect and love him, and I hope that everything is going fine, because there was some stuff happening. There's a lot of stuff, real life stuff. And again, not my place to talk. He was going to share it with you. I don't know that it ever happened. So anyways, I see John Bonnie's out there. What up, dude? Good to see you. Good to see you. So I should start on that again soon. Then there's Funko Fusion. I found an error in a level, and as a result, it requires you to play the level 2 times in order to complete it. That's ridiculous, and I'm sure that's not the intention of the developers. So I messaged them, and my point of contact said that the info was passed on to the people that matter, that they were working on it. A couple days later, I got another email saying, "Hey, Brian, we believe we fixed the issue. The update will go out in a week or so." The update came, didn't fix it. I responded, "Hey, sorry to say that my issue's still here. You know, can we verify that this is something you guys want to change and that this isn't how it's going to be? Because if it's going to stay this way and this is how you want it to be, then I'll make the video." But knowing that the formula for playing this game is play the story and unlock all the characters, return to those same levels and replay them in what they call fun play, same as Lego, but instead of free play, it's fun play. And then you're telling me that after already playing the level 2 times, you have to play it a 3rd time in order to complete it? That just doesn't seem right. When all the other levels are played 2 times and they're done, it doesn't seem right. So I've been waiting, because if I and again, this comes into the perfectionist in the process. If I do the video right now, it becomes a 2-time playthrough, which a lot of people are having no problems with it. You know, we've had other people recently in our Discord even talking about it. It's not a problem per se, but it is annoying. And I don't want my video to be documented from here on out being wrong. If I skip that level and move to the next level, the numbers of the collectibles won't necessarily line up, assuming that the person will just play through and fight through that level a couple of times and get the stuff they need. They're going to move on to the next level, and then my numbers are not going to match their numbers, which is a thing. Some of you are probably like, oh, that doesn't matter. It does matter. I get people all the time, once a day, going, man, I've been following you every single step, every video, every minute, and I only have 200 gold bricks, and you have 201. Where did that other one come from? How am I going to know which one of the 201 you don't have, right? Like, so the process that people follow, and some people are really sticklers about it. Some people are willy-nilly and only use it when they need to. I keep seeing weird blips on my thing. I don't know if it's because the loop is bad or because the stream is just functioning funky. Anyways, my point of contact and I went back and forth and forth and back. And then last week, actually, I think it was Monday. No, it was Friday. Friday, I sent an email to my point of contact, and within 5 minutes, I got a bounce back saying that email does not exist. I literally replied to our correspondence that had happened previously, so I know I didn't type the name in wrong or anything. And it literally said, this address does not exist. A couple days before that, there was a huge announcement that the studio had to lay off a bunch of employees. It sounds like my point of contact was laid off. So I went to their website because I didn't have anybody else's email. And I went to their contact form. I explained who I was. And I said, hey, do I have a point of contact anymore? Is there somebody I could talk to? And Arthur Parsons responded and said, hey, Brian, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Many thanks, Arthur, head of publishing and design director at 1010 Games. If you don't know who Arthur Parsons is, he is a legend. He has been wildly responsible for a lot of our Lego experiences, whether he was a big part or the main part. He has been a large contributor to all of our games. So when the credits run after Lego games are done, Arthur Parsons' names. And I think all of them. I could be wrong. He was with TT for a long time, and he is super smart. He knows what the people want. And unfortunately, Funko Fusion did not get the same sort of love or embracing that the Lego games get. And it's really a shame. Now, the game released probably a little before it should have. And that's probably a force of the developer being pushed by the publisher. But I don't know that for sure. But the game was a little bit, I don't want to say broken, but problematic when it first came out. The balance was a little bit rough. So the game was really tough for people. And Lego games are traditionally pretty easy, other than a few rooms where guys endlessly spawn and annoy you. The games are fairly easy, right? So the difficulty was very hard for some people. And I saw people tweeting, like content creators streaming, going, this game is too hard. Meanwhile, I was just whipping through them. Yes, some of them were challenging. None of them were unbeatable or, defeating me. And I don't consider myself an upper echelon gamer. I've been labeled as a casual gamer. So that being said, I found that, maybe some of that sort of deterred people from buying the game right away. I know that most people that have tried it have been like, oh my God, why didn't I play this before? So if you have a chance to play it at somebody's house or there's another demo available or anything like that, I highly recommend it. But back to my story. I have to reach out to Arthur now. And to be honest with you, I forgot about it yesterday. Yesterday was my point. That was one of the things I had on my list, but I got to do on the game break. And then I went over and I actually went to go to my vinyl wrap place for my car to have some stuff looked at, and it turns out they couldn't help me, so I got referred to another place and went over there and ended up meeting the owner and hitting it off with the owner and hung out there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Um, Learned a lot about a lot of stuff, and actually even Reese is going to drop me off on Thursday to go have some work done on my car, and he is going to speak to the owner about becoming the apprentice and learning how to vinyl wrap, tint windows, ceramic coat, and paint protection film installation for cars. And you know, Reese and him hopefully will hit it off like we did, and hopefully everything will be good, and hopefully he'll have a new place of business to go to soon. You know, he's been working at an ice cream parlor, scooping ice cream for over a year now. Hours are really sporadic and weird, and they're always calling him in for shifts that he's not even on call for. So he's ready to move on from that. And the golf course is still there. He's actually going today to the golf course. But in fact, he probably should be up. Hopefully he's up. Um, he, you know, driving up there and then having to stay at my brother's or my dad's or whatever. Yeah, I got a bunch of messages. Looks like people are liking my photo on Instagram. Oh boy. Trying to not take this thing too serious, but also trying to put out some content that's worth looking at, if that makes sense, for my Instagram. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed too. I've got my shocks on the whole time we've been streaming. So I've been listening to an MF Doom mix basically for the last, I don't know, I guess hour plus. Which is nice because I can think, I can hear. I've always wanted to have music playing, but I've always been worried of copyright and the mic picking it up and stuff, even with my stuff. So anyways, but yes, Funko Fusion, I hope to return to it soon. It's just going to be a matter of either getting confirmation that the level is in fact broken or that they're fixing it and then they fix it. So I'll send an email to Arthur today. I probably won't hear back till Monday or Tuesday because in the UK, it's like, what, 8 hours ahead? So it's already 7 o'clock. They're probably already out of the office for the day. So probably won't, yeah. Brian brushing shoulders with famous folks. I mean, I'm a little intimidated to respond to this email because he's a big deal. I mean, I've had this feeling before, right? Like SOCOM US Navy SEALs was my favorite game, right, of all time. And, you know, with the competitiveness and all the stuff that we did and the camaraderie of friends and the clan that we built with all the local people from 503 and, you know, in Oregon. And, I mean, we had 20, 30 people on our roster at one point. And, you know, I mean, it was just an amazing time. And so when I got the chance to go to the development studio and actually meet the people that made the game, that financed the game, that went all over the world to go get pictures and info about areas to design maps off of and meet the guys that made the maps. And I mean, I was in absolute shock. And I mean, the feeling is similar with the email. Like I'm not in person, so it's not as, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But like it is, right? Because like, I don't want to tell the dude that the game is broken either. Like there's like this weird, like, okay, you finally have a line to the main guy who has provided entertainment that has literally allowed you to make a lifestyle and career out of it. And this guy is on to bigger and better things, but there's a problem. I don't want to tell him what the problem is. I just want to be like, oh my God, I love you so much. You're so awesome. I can't believe I'm, you know, I don't know what to do. But instead I got to be like, yo, dude, so you know that one level you made? Yeah, it's broken. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? So, what up, Kid Justice? Looks like Lego Marvel Superheroes too. All right. Glad we could help out. Thanks for swinging by today. Just kind of doing our non-gaming stuff, but also talking some gaming and whatnot as well. So, you know, moving forward, we got a couple more topics. You know, one thing I haven't touched or talked about in a long time, and nobody has ever asked me anything. Like nobody's come to me and said, hey, I really would love a shirt, but this color with this on it or whatever. But we do have an online store. If you guys haven't checked it out, It says it's back. I have not updated the website or done anything in a long time. Part of it is because there's not a lot of activity there. Don't get me wrong, we have sales, but there's not a lot. And I don't really know. I've tried the plethora of stuff that I have available right now. I thought there would be like some hits and some misses, right? And then we'd be able to evolve and move into some other things. But there just hasn't been a consistency of anything being a hit or a miss. Like pretty much everything. I mean, I've sold Reese's Buff Turtle hoodies. I've sold, things that aren't even related to the channel. I mean, and so, this is where the golf art stuff will be. I'll probably have a separate section for that. And then if it takes off, I'll make it into its own store, but I don't think it'll take off. I mean, I just haven't had a ton of luck with it. But, we do have stickers. If there's other things that you guys would like to see, please tell me, because I will make it a priority to get in there and start doing stuff. If a real life first shirt is something you guys want to see, I could make that. I've got other ideas too. I just haven't taken the time. And part of it's because it takes me a long time. I'm an illustrator, but as I mentioned, I'm not super fast. I'm not super amazing. I can always get what I need to get done. But sometimes it takes a long time. And so, taking forever to do one design and then have it not sell but like one shirt a year, it doesn't motivate me to go back to the drawing board to design more, to do more. So if there are things that you want, a cat simulator shirt, huh? All right. Hey, on another note, did you see the big news, John? I bet you haven't even seen the news yet. One of my biggest excuses of all time for not playing Lego Rock Band may be coming to a close. Oh yeah, hey, by the way, Twitter, we're live. I just now realized I did not put that out there. Let me see if I can find it so I can get you the right info. Let's see here. So there's a company, they go by the abbreviation CRKD. I don't know if that's supposed to mean like circuit, CRKD. They design and create premium collectible gaming gear. But what they're getting ready to do is they're getting ready to release a Les Paul inspired guitar controller for games such as Lego Rock Band. So it's the old school Rock Band guitar, but with like a new school flair. Here, I will post the link in the chat so y'all can see it. All right. Links in the chat. I see Justin says, I actually heard that gunfire at 4:40 a.m. Oh, that was different. It was probably like 2 in the afternoon, 1 in the afternoon when the person got shot at the airport. But I believe you that there was more shots fired. I mean, that might have been was it Wednesday that Tesla got? Maybe that was when the Tesla got shot, but yeah, I mean, our Tesla dealership's been under some hard woes the last couple of weeks. Have a Squirrel with a Gun t-shirt. I don't own the rights to Squirrel with a Gun, so I don't know how that would work. Yeah, you might be able to find one online though, Brian D. But yeah, I don't know. I only played that game for like 2 days too, so yeah, a new game came out today that I was contemplating checking out. Isn't it Monster Hunter Wilds? Tyler P. a long time ago told me that Monster Hunter games are likely not for me, so I haven't really jumped in and done anything with them. And he knows me. I'm not saying that he was like saying I was bad at the game or I would be, whatever. He just knows my style. And yeah. So yeah, I mean, the guitar looks, to me, it looks just like all the old ones, but like glossier. But yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like a possibility moving forward for people who want to rekindle their Rock Band needs. Yeah. So, moving forward, I got a couple things. I got Patreon shoutouts and I got stream schedule. Stream schedule is, I feel like I've kind of not failed you, but like it's not a misdirection either, but it's going to look different in a couple days. So that being said, Monday we finished up Goat Simulator Remastered, and I was hopeful that I was going to get back to Mostly Clean Mondays and play Power Wash Sim with the new Wallace and Gromit DLC. However, that doesn't come out until March 14th or something like that. So we got a couple weeks before that's available. So I was looking hard yesterday. I even taunted the group that I co-op with and tried to get them to help me come up with some simulator ideas. The only one that was suggested was a stupid, inappropriate, terrible suggestion from Bobby. And beyond that, I looked at a couple things. So being that I like to keep Monday as simulator day, Gray has been preaching that the new PGA Tour golf game has been quite lovely. And looks great, feels good, plays different. I've never played any of them, I don't think. So I'm really contemplating playing the PGA Tour. My biggest worry is that there's going to be complications like many other 2K games where the storyline has lots of cutscenes and interactions where music and other things are displayed that are copyright poppers. So I'm contemplating buying PGA Tour. And bro, the game you sent me was like the worst. Like I don't want to shame you for what you suggested, but shame on you for what you suggested. Gray, I was talking to Gray when you typed that, and I was like, what the crap is that? And he laughed, and he was like, it's probably one of those dumb, and he was right. He was right. I won't even finish what he said, but, and bro, I swear to God, if I see that in your inventory, your games played, if you have any trophies or time play, we're no longer friends. We're no longer friends. Bro, and PGA Tour, is that caca? Is that, yes, dude, I've had some doozy simulators. I've also had some wonderful simulators. It was suggested that I check out the new, what's it called? It's called like Moving Dirt or, God, what the crap is it called? It's like a construction based game where you show up to like an environment that's been destroyed, like natural disaster or war or something has destroyed the road and the buildings, and it's up to you to get the road steady and paved, and like it kind of looks fun. And the aspect that looks the best is that it's actually cooperative. So Tude showed up, and that's definitely a Tude type of game, and he was like, hey, has anybody checked this out yet? And I was like, never even heard of it. Gray and I were talking more yesterday trying to find a game for me for Mondays, and that popped up. But again, that's not out till like March 15th or 14th or something too. So that might be a possibility in the future. But for now, I think I'm going to go with PGA Tour. But if you guys have other suggestions, that's why I left the question mark for Monday. It's going to be on HTG TV, so smaller audience than usual. Anything goes. I mean, it can pretty much anything but whatever Bobby suggests. Let's just say that. Brian, that's a great question. I have mixed feelings about those. So I love the simulator games. I love the job simulator ones too, where you get to go and portray like, gas station clerk or whatever, right? Power washer. They're all pretty cool and unique in that aspect. The one thing that I'm a little hesitant to play are the police related ones. The reason for it is not as big as it used to be, but it's kind of a hot topic, right? I mean, without getting into it, some people really appreciate and respect the work that the police officers do, and other people not so much. So the last thing I wanted to do was put myself in a situation where I get a bunch of trolls showing up going, whatever, right? I do back them. I don't back them. Screw you guys. I don't want any of that. So I've definitely felt like, March 15th is 2 weeks away, but there's 2 weeks that I have to fill, Race. What do you mean it's only 2 weeks away? Wait, what, did I miss something else? So police simulators I've tended to stay away from. Like, I think they look cool. I've thought about trying them out on my own. But I mean, there's things like House Flipper, and there's other simulator games. There's The Sims. that are like wildly popular that I've never played. So like if you guys got some suggestions, I'm open to it, but as it sits, I'm kind of leaning towards the golf game, the PGA 2K25. Now, a bonus factor too is that depending on how things go, it looks like if I were to choose that Gray might be able to join me and play too. The problem is, I don't know if we're going to be playing against each other or if we could play as like a, you know, some sort of a skins game or a best ball or some sort of a tournament where we're playing together. That would be dope. But if it's against each other, I don't know if I'm going to be ready for that in the first week. I'm going to need a week or two to get some ground covered and figure out the buttons and get good at it, because last thing I want to do is get worked by the Belgian. Tuesdays, moving along to Tuesdays. We got one more week of Crime Boss Rocket City, and then we'll be changing it to something else. We've got a game locked in, but I'm not ready to share that with you quite yet. It's something that will be cooperative. It'll be something that is available to most of you that have PlayStation. It does look kind of fun. I've gotten some pretty good high recommendations from our good friend BHU, who, by the way, big shout out to Boo, who's probably not watching this right now, but maybe he is. Bro has been a little bit of a lull in work. His job is very, I don't want to say seasonal, but it's contractual based. So sometimes he'll be like working 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks in a row. And sometimes he'll find himself with a couple of weeks of no work. And unfortunately for the majority of, the last 3 or 4 months, there's been not a lot of work. Long story short, he found that his boss landed a contract, but it's like 1,000,000 miles away from home. So they had to drive like halfway across the continent to go to where they are. And then when he got there, it was supposed to be for like a 2 or 3 day job. And then they found out they had like 7 more jobs there that are all like 3 or 4 or 5 days. So he's going to be there for like, he was saying 2 to 3 months. Like that's good for him, but also yuck. Like 3 months away from wife, 3 months away from your own bed, 3 months away from anything that's normal or routine. Like, that would drive me nuts. But money is money. And some people, don't mind chasing that to make ends meet. So back to Crime Boss Rocket City. We got one more week of that where we should be able to complete the final urban legend, which is the cooperative based missions. And then we'll probably do some other stuff, ring off a handful of trophies. And then, I've been kind of contemplating. So that brings me to Wednesday. I'm basically done with Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster other than chasing the platinum. It's all trophy hunting from here. So there's things like rescuing all of the survivors. There's things like rescuing 8 survivors at once or rescuing 8 female characters at once. And there's a bunch of tasks that I can do, but I'm wondering how fun that's going to be to completely play this over and over. And it could go on 2, 3, 4, 5 more weeks if I wanted it to, and if you wanted it to. But if you guys are done with Dead Rising and maybe ready to move on after another week or so, I thought about maybe moving Crime Boss Rocket City single player into Wednesday. In theory, it's very similar to what we're playing now, but it's more of a story-based stuff. So more cutscenes, more cussing, more bad acting, more Chuck Norris. But, again, it kind of falls into that same status of like, okay, well, we've been playing it for a few weeks. It's really just kind of a story-based trophy hunt at that point. So that's something that we could, slide in there. But also, I've got some other games that could slide into that too. A couple new games coming out soon. I did purchase Lollipop Chainsaw when it came out a few months back, and I have not slid that in. That's a wild game. It's been like 12 years since I've played it. I don't remember it at all. Like I did the guide and was very methodical going through. And I see you, Bobby, but I'm ignoring you. I thought about methodically going through and replaying it again, like watching the videos and trying to, but I don't even remember it. It's like a crazy hack 'em, slash 'em, jumping, fun, comedy, zombie slasher killer game. Definitely something to think about, but I'm always open for suggestions. So if you guys really like Crime Boss and you'd like to see me go through the story and play through that, let me know. If you guys want to see something completely different, something that I haven't even suggested, drop it too. I see you guys putting out PS4 games are compatible. Yes, that is true. That is true. Yes. So Brian D, just to clarify, PS4 games are compatible. So if you have a disc and you have a disc version of the PlayStation 5, it can play the PS4 discs, but also PS4 digital games are very wild. There's like, for every 100 games that are compatible, there's like one that isn't. There are still a few PS4 games that are not compatible. But I can't even name any of them off the top of my head right now. And usually the ones that aren't compatible actually have released a PS5 version of that game too. So very minimal amounts of non-compatible games. So you guys let me know what you want to see on Wednesday. Thursday is going to continue to be a off day or project day for me. Hopefully I'll get some Lego Horizon or some Funko Fusion done, or maybe a little bit of both over the next couple of weeks. But either way, Thursday and Saturday are going to remain days off. Friday, unlike today, is normally going to be an Apex or a Fortnite day. Now, I say Fortnite on that list, but we haven't actually played Fortnite in probably 6+ months. I feel like that should change at some point. I know that, I have a couple of people that are willing or wanting to play Battle Royales with me, and I think Fortnite is the more favored of those, and we're maybe more likely to see them play or join in as opposed to Apex, and vice versa. Some people think Fortnite is junk and they love Apex. So I've got both sides of the fence that I have to deal with. And really, Apex is my preferred, so I usually choose Apex. But, if you guys want to see Fortnite or maybe a different, competitive shooter or battle royale type of situation, something new or different, I would be willing to hear some suggestions as well. That just leaves, as I already mentioned, Saturday's off. That leaves Sunday, which you guys voted for a couple weeks, and it actually landed on Lego Lord of the Rings, which I was wildly surprised because I figured Jurassic would take the cake on this one. But you guys proved it wrong. 56+% won the vote with over like 1,500 votes, which was a little low on the voting. And I'm not sure why. I mean, with 200,000+ subscribers, you'd think that we'd get more than 100 or 1,500 votes, right? But it just didn't work out that way. So, pull it up. Nobody cares about that. You care too much about it. Like LIG it, bro. LIG it. I mean, I could say the same for you for every game. You haven't platinumed any game. You don't have one platinum, and you're still hanging on one platinum. Like, get over it. Get over it. So yeah, and that pretty much wraps up the schedule. So that leaves one last thing, which is the Patreon shout. So real quick, if you are not familiar, patreon.com/HappyThumbsGaming is a way you can support us directly. And if you do choose to do such a thing, there are different tiers that result in different things. The $5 and up tier actually results in a textual shout out. So these are people who have supported the channel for many, 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 many months, if not years, at $5 and up, which is very helpful. It helps me procure things like, the Stream Deck and my chair. And I'm actually in need of a new chair right now. I'm not suggesting you go to Patreon, but if you're able to, that would help me out, because this chair is, I mean, look, it's not supposed to do this, and it is. So luckily I'm in a tight space, so if I do end up coming disconnected from the base and I go backwards, I won't go too far. So, but yeah, let's see here. Oh, look, there's love in the air. That's correct, Energy. That is correct. Trying to spread that love, brah. Trying to spread that love. All right, so last but not least, we also have some $10 and up Patreon supporters, and in no specific order, and other than where they're displayed here, we've got Dougie Fresh 613. So even though he hasn't been available, he's still been supporting the channel. Much love, Dougie Fresh. Appreciate you more than you know, and hopefully we'll get to chat and figure some things out at some point. Next up, he was in the chat, might still be. We've got Michael Karsberg. Thank you so much for your continued support, Michael. Much love, much love. And like I said, hopefully you're still out there. If you are, I won't have to even give you a secret word, which, oh, yep, see, Booyakashow. No secret word required. And I would mess it up and just say a repetitive one that you already knew anyways, right? All right, next up, we've got April White. Thank you so much for your support, April. I know that often you're on watching, lurking out there, so just know that I know that, and I appreciate you more than you know as well. Last but not least, at the $10 and up Patreon support, we've got Bonnie Miller. Bonnie, I hope you're well. I know I say this every month, but I'd love to hear from you. It's been a minute. And, at this point, I'm wondering if this is a forgotten expense or if you are still supporting from afar or maybe out there lurking and watching. If you are, let me know. Just say hi. I'd love to hear from you and hope all is well. But guys, that actually wraps up the agenda for today. It doesn't mean we're officially over, but it could be. Now, if you guys have any questions, comments, or things like that, now's the time. Unless your name is Bobby, who will be timed out the next time he brings up Pull It. And you say pull it again, I'm going to tell you to go pull it again. You say pull, I say pull. Same but different. It's the weekend. Anybody got anything going on? My wife and I sat down and binged the entire 4th season of Shoresy last night. If you have not watched Shoresy, it is a series that came from the other famous web series that turned into a Hulu series, Letterkenny. Letterkenny is about a small podunk town in Canada that deals with a lot of different types of people and interactions in a very small town. It is hilarious. I highly recommend it. So much humor, quick-witted like quips, like, you know, talking trash back and forth, and just like camaraderie, and there's actually, with all of the turmoil and trash talk, there's also a lot of really good morals, and you know, like all sorts of things, from like helping your neighbor out to, you know, things like habits, like if you're not 10 minutes early, you're late. You know, there's a lot of things. More hands mean less work. Always helping people. Like it's actually at its core, it's a really positive show, but also it's very dysfunctional, but in a functional way, if that makes sense. So highly recommend it. And again, Shoresy is sort of an offshoot of that. There is a hockey presence in Letterkenny, and Shoresy actually is also present, but you don't ever see Shoresy because he's actually played by the main guy who plays the main character, Wayne. So it's like an alter ego of Wayne, but even though they're two separate people in the stories. And in the end, Shoresy got his own show, and now they just released the 4th season. And they're short episodes. They're like 22 minutes each. We watched all 6 of them last night in one sitting. Hilarious. Some of the season was a little bit off. Like the first couple of minutes, I was like, I'm not liking this. They're going a completely different direction. But yeah, other than watching the Blazer game tonight, I don't have a lot planned. I think the Blazers play on Sunday as well. Let me just double check that. Hopefully it's not during stream. Let's see here. They do play Sunday at 12:30, so I'm gonna have to be efficient with my stuff. Today was 4:30, so it would have been right before the game break started. And I'm glad that nobody was available today. I asked Gray last night, knowing that I kind of wanted to do the game break early because I didn't want it to conflict. The main reason is because I didn't want Gray or Nom or, you know, a couple others showing up and going, hey, have you seen the score right now? The Blazers are getting smashed, or whatever, right? Because, like, I'm a big fan. I like to watch the games. Like, uninterruptions. I don't ever have my phone on. I never check my phone during the game. Like, it's always off. So if you're trying to get a hold of me via phone and I'm not answering and there's a Blazer game on, that's why. But you can miss the first 10 to 20. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's like the first quarter, if not part of the first half. No, absolutely not. I do have pause on my DVR, but I only have an hour of pause. I also have a DVR that records, but I don't like to watch it late. So, but yeah, missing the first 10 minutes, you're crazy. That's crazy talk, Rays. Hey, if you have not already and you enjoyed this, please click the like button. It helps us out. I mean, if we have 100% of people who watch and like, it actually will help feed this to other people, and it'll help the channel grow. So it's not an exact science. So if we have 100 viewers and all 100 like it, it doesn't mean that I'm going to get seen by 1,000 people because of it, but it will sort of tell YouTube, like, hey, these people actually do enjoy this. So a lot of people kind of forget about that. I don't talk about it a lot. That's something I didn't do a lot in my videos either until later. Like if you watch a lot of the first like 3 or 4 Lego series, there's no talk, hardly any, until you get to the end. Comment, like, subscribe was like one of our lines that we used, right? That was at the very end of the video. Most people left the video by the time that happened. So it wasn't until, I want to say, like, you know, maybe Lego Jurassic or Harry Potter that I started throwing like pop-ups and talking about it more often. And And it seemed to help. The like numbers and the subscribe numbers seemed to go up during those times because of my mentioning it. And that was always a practice that I was told by YouTube successors, right? People who were giving classes or advice, or people who work for YouTube that were trying to, teach me the ways, or even my network partner. They'd always say in the first 10 seconds, you always want to address, there were certain words that they wanted you to use, like you. Like if I say the word you, it's supposed to engage your brain in a way that makes you want. Also, the clickbait stuff, right? That's definitely a thing too. I keep seeing this weird glitch. I don't know if it's just because the YouTube is hiccuping, or again, because the loop is bad. I thought the loop was smooth. That's what a loop is. It's supposed to be smooth and continuous without interruption. But I keep seeing here, which is web-based, it keeps flickering and like it's late or something. So anyways, what do you guys think of the new background? Better than the standard one? I'm going to try to do this every month where I update the channel, or the background and the thumbnail for it for each game break. See, I just did it again there too, but I'm not seeing it happen on the main one. So I feel like it's just a buffering issue or something. Have you guys even had any like YouTube usually tells me when you guys have ads? I've not seen one ad. It usually will say ads are running. Like this little pop-up pops up. Ads are running. I haven't seen one of those. Not saying it hasn't happened, but fly me to the moon. I haven't seen that. A lot of ads? Is that anybody else? I feel like Tamara is always saying there's a lot of ads, but I don't ever hear anybody else say anything. Hey, what up, Dragon? It just makes me wonder if maybe like the connection is disconnecting or buffering or something to a point where it's feeding you another ad, because they're set for like certain intervals. I mean, Google sets them. I don't remember. It's like intermittent or something like that. So in an hour and a half, 3 to 4 ads, pretty standard. 2 ads is even less. That's like not enough, if you ask me. I mean, I'm not saying there should be more, but I mean, mathematically, in an hour and a half, we should have seen more, because you should have had ads when you showed up too. I don't know if those are being counted or just the ones that roll. So 3 or 4, too many ads. See, 3 or 4 in an hour and a half is not too many. In fact, that's actually less than what it probably should be. So I don't understand that. 3 or 4 ads. I mean, that's like every half hour, right? Three would be every 30 minutes. 1 per 30 minutes. I see videos all the time that are like set. Like when I watch my car videos, especially like filming, like how to film videos and stuff, like get better shots or do this or whatever. There's ads every 8 minutes, 7 to 8 minutes. And that might be the case too. Kirsten. Yeah. I think we discovered that before in the past, that the multitasking resets it. So sometimes when you leave it in the background and you go to other things and you pop back up, somehow the app registers as a new view or a returning view or something. So if you're telling a story, I get the ad. All right, so let's test that out. So Chacho, the other day, which back in the day was a Wednesday, I'm on a phone. I can't multitask. Well, you must not be on an iPhone. iPhone actually has, my Android phone has it too, where I can have multiple things on the screen and multitask at once. So your phone might not have those capabilities, but the phones in general often do. Let's see here. 2 to 3 every 15 minutes. See, that is a little bit excessive. Yes, and they used to have a limitation on ads not being displayable more than 8 minutes, and videos under 8 minutes couldn't even run an ad. But I definitely see, I've experienced where, and I mean, it is what it is. Like I see it, and to be completely honest, this is a weird me thing. This is probably not anybody else thing. But as somebody who like basically lives off ad revenue, knowing that partial ads and skips and stuff don't help I almost always let the ad run full. Now, those are situations where I'm watching a pre-recorded video and the video pauses to play the ad, right? Whereas a live stream is going to play an ad and it's going to continue. That's a feature I wish they would fix so that the ad would sort of splice in and extend the stream versus an overlay on the stream where the stream is still happening in the background. Does that make sense? I feel like that would be way better for the streaming experience. And listen, I've said this a lot too. If we could get to a point where we're seeing, 10% of the channel's subscribers a member at 99 cents a month, 10% is all. 10%, right? I would turn the ads off. If I didn't, if I had that many people with memberships at 99 cents a month, I would turn it off. I can't really make a video and say that, though. I probably shouldn't have even said that live right now, but technically you can't persuade and do things like that. Like there's rules about it. Different states have different things too because of like gambling and there's weird overlapping rules. But like if I was making a similar amount, or more with membership revenue, I would turn ads off. I've always said too that if we got to a point where I had like a 10% of the subs were subscribed, that I would do huge giveaways every month. But that's also what kind of falls into that gambling, what I was just talking about. Because like, I don't want people to go, hey, I'm paying 99 cents a month for a chance at winning a big screen TV and a PlayStation 5. Right? Because that's not technically what it would be. It would be just a giveaway for those who were contributing, right? Because mathematically, like if every single person, so if I had 215,000 people at 99 cents a month, it doesn't equivalent to $1 per person for me because Google takes their cut and then taxes, but ultimately, that's roughly 50 cents per, so that'd be like $100,000 a month. If I was making even 10% of that, I would have the kind of funds to pay for the shipping and provide large scale giveaways. But depending on how you say it and how it works out, that could be considering like gambling, right? Like 99 cents to get a chance to win it, right? So got to be careful with all that stuff. But ultimately, I wouldn't. A lot of that would come back. I would want to give back and help people out, and there would be rules to it. Like mods would probably be exempt, and I would be exempt, and like people could only win once or something. There would have to be rules to go with it too. But I've often thought about that, and I've thought and felt that way for 10 years of my 13 years doing this. So it's really just kind of a numbers game, right? And if those numbers add up, then boy, it would definitely benefit everybody, or at least be opportunistic for everybody. And again, that's where it gets kind of greasy, and I don't want it to be looked at like that. But I mean, you guys get what I'm saying. So let's see here. Got an ad when you were telling. Nice. See, it worked. So I'll just tell more stories, and I'll get more ads, and I'll get more money. No, that's not what you want. Let's see here. I love to be able to run them. We're trying to watch it live. Yes. No, I get it. I and that's what I'm saying. If there was a way that YouTube could insert the ad and splice it in versus overlaying the top of it and overwriting the stream so that you guys don't miss the live stuff, that would be genius. And I'm not sure why that hasn't happened. It might be because the ads would then probably be forever embedded at that point. I don't know. Skip, he says. Yeah, you're part of the problem, Bobby. You're part of the problem. Yeah, like I said, I personally tend to watch just because I know that a full ad is better than. So if as long as I'm not missing content as a result, I'll usually let it run. And I mean, most of them are 90 seconds or less, right? I mean, most of them are 90 seconds or less. So small point of my day to help the creator that's helping me, right? But I mean, again, I'm not suggesting you guys do that in all aspects and everything or whatever, but something to consider, like if you are watching a non-live video, even if it's not me, right? Like even if it's somebody else that you really appreciate and watch a lot of their content because they're funny, because they help you, whatever the case may be, something to consider, letting those ads run their full go. Currently right now, the numbers don't always match up, but it looks like we have more concurrent viewers than we do have likes. And I know people have come and gone too. So, hey, if you have not liked the video yet, please do. That would really help us out. Yeah, so I'm in overtime here and just chilling. Let's see. Can you say hi, Kieran? What's up, Kieran? Welcome to the stream. Love you, bro. Getting the plat for Lego Harry Potter on PS4. Nice. Awesome. Glad we could help out. Good news is they got another remaster for the PS5. If and when you get that, you'll get to play it all over again. I love it. I love that people can replay a lot of these games. In fact, I saw something yesterday. I should have brought this up earlier. Let's see here if I can even find it. Profile, likes. Okay, so here it is. No, that's not it. What the crap? I swear I liked the video, but I'm not seeing it here. Okay, so backing up a little bit, trying to explain what I thought I was going to be able to prove and read. So there's this outfit, and I don't fully understand it. I was actually hoping to get maybe some information from you guys on it. There's this outfit that apparently takes old games and like remasters them. They're like, in a way, they're like fan projects is what it seemed like. But what they were doing is they were going through and remastering some of the early Lego games. And I don't know the whole story about this. So that's why I was hoping I could find the link. But apparently, well, you know what? Hold on. I got one more thing I can try. It was suggested that if we go and fill out this, was it? I don't think it was him. Yeah, it wasn't him. I have one more place I can try that it might have been. This might be it. Basically, they were suggesting that if we showed a lot of love and, yeah, here it is right here. Good old game. Preserved. So good old game, GOG, GOG, GOG.com, I guess. It says our video game preservation efforts continue with the GOG preservation program, and we're excited to welcome new additions to the program. For this first batch, it's all about Lego. And it says, here are the beautiful games we've updated, improved, or quality tested, and will continue to maintain as we make as enjoyable as possible. So these are games that have somehow, and I don't understand it. I don't know if they just like, you got to buy them for PC through them, or if there are games that are going to be re-released for consoles, or I don't fully understand this, but maybe you guys can look into it and figure it out with it. Right now on the list, they have Lego Movie, Lego Movie 2, Lego City Undercover, Lego Ninjago, Lego Pirates, Lego Indy, Lego Indy 2, Lego Batman 2, Lego Batman 3, and Lego Lord of the Rings. It says you'll find them all here. Hey, it's Kieran with a 79-cent super chat. Let's go. As you can see, it's not just the games already available on GOG that receive this stamp of quality, but also brand new additions to our catalog. Why Lego games? Because they provide unmatched cross-generational fun. No matter your age or experience with gaming, preserving such quality forever is essential. Please note that this is just the beginning. Regular batches of games will be joining the GOG preservation program. More of your beloved titles will receive this official stamp of quality as our efforts to preserve your gaming legacy only grow stronger. What's next? First of all, check out all these amazing new additions to the program and add them to your library where they'll all have an external home. And don't forget to head to our dream list and vote for other Lego titles helping us bring them to GOG. Thank you for your unwavering support of our mission. Without you, none of this would be possible. See you soon and with more updates on GOG Preservation Program. Now, just because I am consistent, I will post this link in the chat as well, and you guys are welcome to check it out. Now, Bobby might be right. It may just be a PC mod situation. In a way, it sounds like it, but also there's a lot of games on there that they've dealt with. So I don't know. It says digital PC gaming platform, timeless classics, no DRM, great deals, making games live forever. That's like their blurb on their Twitter account or X account. Yeah, and see now there's people suggesting like, hey, look into DLC for this game and that game because it was only available through pre-order and blah, blah, blah. And thanks for the follow, Karen. Yeah, so Booyaka Shout. So I don't know if that's going to end up being anything of importance. Looks like maybe PC players might get a little benefit of some better graphics or updated things or whatever. Oh, farmers at lunchtime. What's for lunch there, dudeski? What's for lunchers? Let's see here. Ben liking. Oh, Reese left home. He's out of here. Cool. Toronto Raptors have waived PJ Tucker. Dang, PJ Tucker got done dirty again, bro. Yeah, I think his career might be over. Bobby's probably the only one that knows who that is. Just looking through, making sure there's nothing spectacular happening on the old interwebs. Yeasty basty. All right, some pizza. Gotcha. Bro, your webpage crashed. What do you mean? You have a webpage? I didn't know this, Energy. I don't even think... Whoa, what the crap is that? Oh, it's just Gerg. I was like, why is there so many GIFs in the chat? But it's Gerg and mine. It's Ninja Smoke over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So yeah, that's all I got, peeps. We're creeping up on 2 hours right now. That's dope. Not webpage, my tab. Well, webpage, it's the same thing. Not necessarily your webpage, but the webpage crash. That's been happening to me a lot on YouTube lately. I don't know why. Like, it'll just totally go away all of a sudden. It's too much, bro. PS3, PS4 was enough for me. Yeah, well, that's how you spread them out. If you play enough, you know where everything is in PS5. That's true. That's true. If you do play it over and over and close enough together, you will know where everything is. So, good stuff. Well, anybody else got anything before I shut her down? I'm not in a hurry, but at the same time, if we ain't got nothing to chat about, let's just wrap it up. My lungs and diaphragm are exhausted. I mean, I've been talking for an hour and 46 plus, straight, nonstop. Not, I warned you. I warned you. Pull it is greater than pull it. Pull it is better than pull it. Yeah, so what actually happened? Bobby getting timed out? Yeah, of course it did. I mean, I live for those moments. I live for the Kirsten. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, I should probably go before that timeout runs out and he can speak again. He'll be back. No, it was 60 seconds. He'll blink and it'll be over. I for the most part, unless you're being like super inappropriate or racially motivated or something, I usually don't time out for more than like a minute or 5 minutes. If it's Bobby or Nom being an arse, it's usually like 5 seconds or what how many are there now? I can go like different intervals. I can go 10 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, and 24 hours. Or I can ban permanently. Can't understand it? Ban it. I love that everyone's hammering down and clowning Mr. Pull it. Pull it. Nobody cares about Resident Evil 3, bro. Nobody. Oh boy. All right. So looks like we got a few more likes going. Thank you, peeps. Thank you. Thank you. Bop it, twist it, pull it. Whoa. 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 Settle down, Beavis. What was that? Was that thing called the Bop It? Wasn't that what that was from? That little like music shake thing? I don't even remember what the crap it was. It was a long time ago. And there's an ad. All right. Perfect timing. Do it and find out. Do what? Time you out again? Okay. Done. Bro, I'm going to time you out till you get back from your cruise. You're cruising for a timeout, man, brah. Jamie, video gaming. The legend himself. I'm making videos myself on Lego games. Just started Complete Saga. I do plan to use your videos for the free plays. I was already using them before I thought of making videos. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, whatever helps, get you through your days and all the stuff that comes with that. I definitely, I had somebody find the info for me. So, I mean, it's no different, except for I had to pay for those. I didn't pay very good in the early days. It was a lot of volunteer-based stuff, but there was rewards for doing it. Energy, you don't count. You don't even know what we're talking about. You have no idea what we're even talking about. Like, I'd be really surprised if you knew what we were talking about. I'm waiting to see if you do know. I don't think you do. I also feel like I'm being tested right now to see if I will time you out as well. It's fun to get outside. Yeah, that seems to be standard practice for some of yous. Nice. Appreciate that, Jamie. Watching, I'm not sure if I even know. All right, so here I'll break it down for you. I'll break it down. So a long time ago, long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, HTG Brian played a remastered version of Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil has been one of my favorite franchises, especially zombie related, for a long time. And I never really played the games to completion. And when Resident Evil 2 came out, it actually started with Resident Evil 5. Gray and I went back and played Resident Evil 5 and platinumed it. I do believe we played a bunch of Resident Evil 6 as well, and I don't think we platinumed that. But then they did the remasters of 2 and 3, and I played 2, and it was a hoot. I don't remember. I don't think I platinumed 2 either. I got to 3, and I got every trophy but 1, and that was beating it on like that Ultra Mega Moo hard difficulty. I played it all the way up to the final boss, and all I had to do was beat the final boss. But I wasn't able to do it. The stream went longer than anticipated, and I shut it down, and I never turned the game on again. It's been like 5 or 6 years since that happened, and Bobby brings it up every single time we talk about anything. And he wants me, for some reason, he thinks that really bothers me that I didn't get the platinum. Which, I mean, in the moment, yeah, I felt like I let the viewers and myself down by not. 10 seconds after I turned it off, I've never turned the game back on. Like, I'm not worried about, it's not an unachievable thing. I just never went back to it because it's not that big of a deal. But Bobby makes it a huge deal. And every time we talk, hey, I'm gonna get my first platinum and play Resident Evil 3, and it's gonna be in your face, bro. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. psnprofiles.com/interdub. Let's just see Resident Evil. So Resident Evil Village, I got 26 of the 57, no platinum. Resident Evil 3, guess what? It shows 30 of 33 with no platinum. So there are more than one. Complete the game with an S rank on Inferno. So, okay, so Bobby, it's not even just one. Wait a minute. Yeah, complete the game on Inferno, complete the game with an S rank on Inferno, and then obtain all trophies. So even if I beat that boss, it's highly possible that I won't get the platinum anyways, because I don't know that I got an S rank. I don't even know. I've never understood the S ranks. Like, same with Sonic in all those games. Like, I don't understand how you get some of those. Like, I can destroy and do a lot of stuff, but not get the S, and I don't know how to get them. Let's see here. Resident Evil 6, 35 of 71. No platinum. Resident Evil 5, 51 of 71. Did not play the DLCs, but got the base platinum. Resident Evil 2 did not get the platinum. So, again, I'm still just, like, baffled. Resident Evil, the first one, the remake, 2 of 45 trophies. I mean, Resident Evil 6, 44 of 71. Looks like that's the PS3 version. So, yeah. And Resident Evil 4 is 7 of 12 trophies. I never streamed that one. I never streamed it. I played it on my own long ago. In fact, the last time I played that was 2012. So over 12 years ago. I did. So it looks like I got, I got the Evil Dead Platinum, but that's not Resident Evil. That's just Evil Dead. So yeah, Resident Evil 5 is the only one that I've ever platinumed. And then I have 0 of 12 trophies on Resident Evil The Dark Side Chronicles and 1 of 12 on Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles. So I don't have any. Yeah, so that's definitely not as cool as I thought it was. I thought it was only 1 trophy. And to be fair, maybe all I need to do is beat that boss, and I do have an S rating, and I did get the... I don't know. I don't know. But historically, I don't have a lot of completions with Resident Evils. I do have 541 games played on PlayStation, 136 completed games, and my world rank is 28,627 with a total of 17,000. Come on, why is that ad blocking me now? I don't want to see that stupid ad. Go away, bro. 11,712 trophies total. 11,007. 183 platinums, 982 golds, 2,263 silvers, and 8,284 bronze. What about Spaceballs? You know they're making a sequel, right? Kreese, Shiva, hurry. Never seen Spaceballs. Whoa. Yeah, there's a new one coming. It's funny, Gray was cycling through TV or something yesterday, and Spaceballs was on. It was funny. How many assholes are on this ship? Man, I'm surrounded by a bunch of assholes. Like that was the part it was on during the thing. It was pretty hilarious. Yeah, so definitely watch Spaceballs. Probably won't be returning to Resident Evil 3, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day / weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and major a-hole, sir. Yep. Definitely good stuff. All right, guys. Hey, thank you for hanging out. Much love to you all. I'll be back on Sunday with Lego Lord of the Rings, and then we'll kick it off next week, which sounds like it'll be PGA Tour 25, the brand new one that it's actually in pre-order early access right now. Gray's been playing it for a few days, and I was like looking at it yesterday in the store, and it was still pre-order. And I was like, how's it pre-order? He's like, I got early access. So anyways, guys, much love. I hope to see you on Sunday. Don't forget to click that like button. And it looks like you did. Cool. Some would say see you next month. Final day of the month. Oh, yeah. Got me there. At first, I thought you meant you'll see me for next Gamebreak next month on the last day. But also, I get you. It's good. I see what you did there. Have a great day. Yes. All right, guys. You know the drill. Head on over to any of our social medias. If you haven't already, please check out happythumbsgaming.com. My Stream Deck is failing me over and over again. Let's see if it'll work here. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, there we go. Check us out on social media, htgmerch.com, as well as happythumbsgaming.com. All the aboves. Much loves. High fives, dabs, all that stuffs. As always, until next time.